from Kellie's Bead Boutique. So we recently restocked our semi-precious and freshwater pearl wall. Now we didn't get as many freshwater pearls as what I would have liked, but we did get some beauties in. And the nice thing about some of these is they have a large drill hole. So we've got some brand new freshwater pearls with large drill holes, and we've got a great selection of semi-precious stones that also have a large drill hole, which is great if you are like me and you love working with leather. So as soon as I got these in, I thought, I know exactly what I'm going to make. So I'm going to do an updated version of a necklace I probably created about 8 years ago. I think you're going to really enjoy it. So if you want to see what I'm making, come and join me. So the other day I was doing an Instagram live and I was wearing a necklace that a lot of people commented on. It's one that I made years ago when pearls were still relatively affordable. Now they've reached that price point where it's kind of crazy. So if I was going to replicate that necklace, it would cost a fortune. So I thought I'm going to try and modify it today. Now I've not done this one before in the modified sort of manner. So we're going to just kind of wing it and see how it works. But I think it'll be fine. We're just going to be using less pearls, which makes it a little bit more affordable. So I didn't really know how much leather to grab. So right now I grabbed 3 meters of 1.5 millimeter leather, and let's see how much we have at the end. And then that will help determine if you guys need more or less. I have a button, and then I have some freshwater pearls that have large drill holes in them. Now these are kind of that some of them are really unique in their shape. They're not all perfect. Some of them are kind of organic looking, but I really like that look. And then of course we have a barrel knot tube because we're going to just be making a succession of barrel knots. So I'm going to show you how I do this. It is very simple, but it was one of my most worn necklaces because it goes with everything. I've worn it with fancy, I've worn it with jeans, you can wear it with just about anything. So I'm going to put my button on. I had to think, what was this called? I was like, clasp. No, it's not a clasp, it's a button. So I just ran the leather through and I'm putting it at the middle. So I'm going to create a barrel knot close to my button here. So I'm going to take, there's a lot of leather to work with. So I'm going to take the top one, I'm going to bring it around to the front, and I'm going to wrap 3 times. So I just kind of do that all in my hand. And now I'm going to hold on to that knot and bring this tail that I was working with. But again, this is a lot of leather. I'm going to bring that through the end and run it through my barrel knot tube and then pull the tube out, and then we will have our knot. So I have to hold on to the knot, that's why you can't see it, otherwise it will kind of run amok. So I'm just going to make this so it's a little bit, make sure I'm on the camera there, just pulling this other one so that I can tighten up that knot a bit. I don't want to have this knot right up against the button. I want to leave a little bit of play in there. And I just kind of push it down, and that's what we've got right now. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of my freshwater pearls on one side, and I'm going to put 2 on the other. So that's kind of the way that we're going to be doing it, is we're going to do 2 on one and 1 on the other. This one actually has an extra little drill hole in it, but I don't even care. It looks fine. To me, all those little imperfections are what makes them kind of unique. So actually, I'm going to switch that one and use that up towards my neck where you won't see it quite so much, instead of at the front. So, if something bothers you, just turn it around or use something different. Or, I've been finding that we have all kinds of unique things in our beads lately. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is sort of center that like that. So I'm making like a little nest of pearls. So let me just move these so that you can still have a pretty good look of what I'm doing here. So now I'm going to make another barrel knot. So I am going to go around 3 times. And with that one that I'm wrapping around, I'm going to pull that off to the left. And I am going to feed that through the tube and then pull the tube out and then tighten up my knot. And there we go. Now we've got that nice and tight. I am going to repeat that, but I'm going to do the opposite. So on this bottom one, I am going to put 2 of my beads. And again, they're going to probably move around, but this is the way I sort of, start it off so that it looks in my brain. It looks the way that I want it to. Now you can create this in any fashion that you want. It's just a sort of a structure for a really fun little necklace. So I'm going to put it like that. And I don't want to have this like jammed right up next to it. I'm going to leave a little bit of play. So now I'm going to be working with the top one, and I'm going to create another barrel knot. So you can see I don't wrap it and pull it all around. I just kind of wrap it around, and then on my final one is when I pull that long strand out so that I'm not constantly trying to fight with that. And then pull that through. And then once I get it, sort of formed, then I will decide how tight I want to make this little grouping of pearls here. So that's about what I want to do. And sometimes you have to roll it in your fingers to get it the way that you want it. But that's essentially what I'm looking for. And now we're going to do that one more time. So in my original one, I had 5 of these little stations of beads, but I'm only going to do 3 on each side just to try to keep the cost down of the pearls, because holy, when I got these new pearls in, I kind of had to gulp a little bit and go, okay, well, I have to, whittle the pricing down. Like, it's crazy. But I guess they're not creating and because I think these are all sort of made in you know farms or something like that. I'm really not too sure about the whole pearl thing. I just know that all of our vendors say that they're not manufacturing any of the pearls any longer. I mean, they're natural, but they still have to, do the things that they have to do to create the pearls. I think they put the sand in the shell and all that kind of stuff, and they're not doing that, and they're not drilling them, and so they've become a little more precious, which is, uh, you know, I don't understand why. I guess maybe it's economics. I don't really know. But they don't give us an answer. They just jack up the prices and say, well, we can't get them anymore. And we all have to sort of pay the price for them, which is upsetting because I love pearls. All right. So there we go. So that's what we have is our little station here. So now what I want to do is I want to actually sort of position this on my body, in that I want to decide where I want my button. Do I want my button down lower, or do I want it up higher? And because I'm only using 3 stations here, I'm probably going to put it up a little higher. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can try and do an inset of a video with me doing what I'm about to do, but I'm not sure if it's going to translate well. Okay, I just switched to a different camera. It's not the right, angle, and I'm looking the wrong way, and those kind of things drive me nuts. But I just wanted to do a quick insert. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and wrap it around. I have my jacket hanging off my sides and my, other thing. This is not a good look, but I want you to be able to see. So I need to decide, like, I kind of stand up here so you can see my mic is completely in the way, but I sort of want that to sit about there. So I know that my next knots need to start across from that knot right there. So I'm going to mark that with my finger. And hopefully that is, you understand what I mean there by marking it across there. I just know that that's where that's going to start. And then I'm going to just measure that off camera. And then I will tell you what the amount is there that it came to, because I kind of want that to hang there. And then we'll have some things hanging down below. So right about there. All right. All right, so I did a quick measurement there for you, and I inset it. I was finding it a little bit hard to explain otherwise. So, forgive all the camera equipment in the way and my haggard look and all the rest of it, but I thought it was a little bit better for you to see that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I will take that measurement, which I know is about 16 inches, and I'm going to start at the last one here, the last knot, and then I will measure 16 inches, which is about there. I'm going to get rid of this out of the way there. And I'm going to make my next knot here. So I just want to make sure that my leathers are equal, in that they're not, I don't have one piece longer than the other. And it doesn't have to be an exact measurement. Now, what you can do is you can start this next knot. You can also then take it back off after you've done the knot, and try it out on yourself to see if that's where you want it to sit. This is a bit forgiving in that if it hangs a little lower, it will look fine. So I'm not super worried about it. It was kind of a quick measurement that I did, but there you go. So make sure that I'm in the middle of the screen there. So I'm just going to make my first knot. And now in the other ones we did, 2 on one side and 2 on, and then 1 on the other. We're going to do the same thing. I'm not going to worry about whether or not they fall, I'm not going to measure it against the last one I did. Oh, did I do 2 on that side and then 1 on that? Because they're going to flip around when you wear it anyway. So I'm not going to worry, but I'm going to continue with my little pattern on the one side. Does that make sense? I'm just trying not to worry about matching it up on the other side. I'm even looking at some of these pearls, and some of them look like they're a lot larger than on the other side. So I'm going to mix in some of the smaller pearls to make sure that things kind of all blend. All right, so I've got 2 on one side, 1 on the other. I'm going to take my barrel knot tube. You can see this comes together pretty quickly, and I can guarantee if you wear this necklace, people are going to comment and say, "Oh my gosh, where did you get that beautiful necklace from?" Because it is very, very striking. I think even with the shorter version that I'm doing, because the other one was almost like a full body length. It's beautiful, but I've lost a lot of weight, and so now it's way too big. So I'm going to have to perhaps remake it, because for my video the other day, I actually just shortened it in the back so that I could still wear it for the video because you wouldn't see it. But I just put a knot in it, just for the video's sake. But anyways, okay, so we've got 2 on one side, 1 on the other. So now we're going to do the opposite. So I'm going to do 2 on the bottom one here. Now you could also make this with anything other than pearls. We have a ton of different large hole beads. We have 8mm and 10mm. I think we might even have some 12mm. So you could definitely make this with any other beads. We've got a big selection. You could do it with metal beads, although it might be kind of heavy. But any large hole bead will translate well in this application. I think it just will look super pretty. You could use Ghana glass because it has large holes in it, and I have made a lot of mixed kind of necklaces like this with Ghana glass and pearls mixed together. I love that together. So you could, intermingle some Ghana glass here. So now on the opposite one, I'm going to do 1 on the bottom. And if you find you can't get it in, you can always cut your your leather on an angle there. And then we're going to use one of these, and we're going to go for this one. I think I'm going to turn that inside though, because that's the one that's got that funny extra little bit of a drill hole, but when you have them together, you won't even see it. So there's always a way to use something. So like you would never even notice now that that has an extra drill hole in it. All right, I'm going to do my final one here. So go around 3 times. And it looks like we're going to have a lot of leather left over, but because I haven't made this one in this particular size, I wanted to err on the side of too much, and then I will make sure to measure it so that if you want to make this at home, you will have the ability to. So this won't be a kit because, basically you're just buying pearls, a barrel knot tube, a button, and some leather. So I will make sure to put all the links to everything that I used. All right, so now what we've got, so this part here, this back part here will go behind my neck, and this will sit in the front, sort of at the front of my chest. So I now need to make a clasp, in that I need like some way for this to go on. So I'm going to make a clasp here, and I want, let's see, I want to have, I'm just going to look and see if that, so that'll sit probably exactly the way I want it. So I want to create, let's see, what am I going to do here? All right, so I want this about that large. I don't want it to be a struggle to get in because it'll wear on the leather too much. So about here, I am going to create another barrel knot, which will start my clasp. So if you have somebody in your life that has a metal allergy, this is a really great piece because you can sub out the metal button. I actually have one right here, one of these little heart buttons, in wood. So that would be super cute on there. I was going to make it, and then I thought, I think I'll actually put the metal one on, but you could sub that out. So this has kind of gone up a little too much. So I'm going to just push that up and then tighten it a bit. So before I tighten it all the way, I'm just kind of getting it where I want. I want to make sure that when I have this done up, it will look as intended. So there we go. That's what we want. I want to have a little bit of play in there. I don't want that to be super tight. So what I also would do is I don't have any glue on me right now, but you can see that when I move that around, it starts to move because there's no glue. So right now I would pull that tight and get that nice and snug. And then I would put some GS Hypo glue on there and then right on that little bit there so that this will not go anywhere. All right, so that is that part of the necklace. And then we have to do some embellishing. So I'm just going to do it up so you can see what it will look like. I definitely would put a little bit of glue there too. Anything that's sort of at the end where it's going to take a little bit of punishment is where I would pop some glue. All right, so I am going to now embellish this at the bottom here. So you can do whatever you like. You can just leave leather. You can do, whatever you want. But I think I am going to start some barrel knots and then place my fringe down here. So I'm going to do a barrel knot right here. So I'm just going to go around 3 times. Now there's no have to or any rhyme or reason as to why I'm doing this. I'm going to start with 1 and then work from there and see how many I want to put on. You can do 1, you can do 2, you can do 3, whatever tickles your fancy. When you're creating stuff, you can do as you like. So I'm going to put on a pearl here. And I think that's going to look really pretty. So I'm going to do 3 there. Now I should have grabbed some glue. I apologize that I did not have my glue for this project because I've been filming all day and I just kind of thought, I'm going to whip this one up and get it done. And then I completely forgot the glue because I would be reinforcing a lot of these where they're going to take a little more punishment. I would drop just a dab of glue. All right, so now I need to decide where I want to put this next one. So I think I would do maybe close to, but not exactly across. So I'm going to start a knot and then see where it lands because I don't want them right next door to each other, but it's kind of hard to plan out where you want it. So maybe up a little higher. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And again, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I just kind of, look at it and go, oh, do I like it like this? So now we've got that. So I think I'm going to put my knot right there. And it's kind of fun for me to create. I know I'm not live, but I'm live creating in that I have not made it. Well, I haven't made this style for years, but also I haven't made it in this form before. So, you're kind of getting a bird's eye view of how I do things. And so I think I want to do a third one. So I'm not loving that pearl though. So I think I'm going to swap it out for a different one. Sometimes I don't love the pearl that I have. So I'm going to use this one because it's a little rounder. So I think I'm going to make another knot right about there. So I'm going for 3 today, but you can do as many as you like. You could do pearls all the way down if you wanted to have a real dangly kind of fringy thing. So I'm just going to see where that's going to lay, and that will kind of nestle in there quite nicely. I want it similar in position to the other one. So you can see that this one here kind of nestles in between that. So I want this one to start there. So they're all going to kind of make sense, I think, when I'm done here. So I'll put that in. And then I'm going to do this last one. So this is kind of other than the barrel knot tube, it's kind of a toolless project. You're just going to need some kind of cutters of some sort, like either scissors, but let's get real, I never have a pair of scissors around. I don't know why, I just never do. All right, so now I just have to decide how long and do I want these even on the fringe. So for now, I think I'm just going to start with down here. I'm going to just trim that off, and I'm going to measure this and see how much we've got left so that you can cut your leather. It looks like it's about 16 inches. So I can actually get away with probably, so I will use 3.5 meters, probably 2.5 meters because this is 32 inches. So yeah, I would think you could probably get away with 2.5 meters or so of leather, but don't quote me. So now I have to look at this and decide, what do I want to do? Do I want to have those fringe that long, or do I want to trim them off? And I'm thinking, now that I'm looking at this, that I want to trim them a little shorter. So I'm going to trim that one there, and then I'm going to go across from it. And then again, if I wanted to, I could cut it up here, which I think I'm going to do. I don't want it to be sort of a symmetrical thing. I want it kind of offset, and I'm going to trim that one a little bit shorter. Now, definitely after I'm done, I'm going to put a little drop of glue on these bottom ones here, and I'm going to run some glue right there and right there and right there, any place that is going to take a little bit of punishment. So I will try and get a picture with me wearing it. I don't have the right clothes on today, so it's probably going to look ridiculous. But this is the most beautiful necklace on. I will make sure to try and get a really decent picture of it so that you can see how pretty this is. But I really hope that you give this one a whirl, because look at how gorgeous that is. Just with some simple leather and some freshwater pearls with large drill holes. I mean, I think it's just stunning. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Leave me a comment and let me know, are you going to give this a try? And if you do, please make sure to join our Kellie's Bead Boutique Beads and Blab group over on Facebook, and you can show off your wares there. You can take anything that you've made and pop a picture on there, and everybody likes to chat about it. So make sure to pop over there. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. It would really help it out, and I love all of you that come and join me every week. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.